CTV News at 5 with Tony Rima and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony is off. Timmins police have charged several people after 2 search warrants led them to the seizure of more than $20,000 in drugs. Yesterday afternoon during the 5 o'clock hour, a heavy police presence on Cedar Street North resulted in the arrest of 2 Timmins men and 3 people from Southern Ontario. Then at around 9 p.m., police searched a second home on 6th Avenue. Police say the investigation netted drugs like fentanyl and cocaine, as well as $5,000 in cash and a loaded gun.
This was a proactive investigation initiated by our drug enforcement unit, and based on the evidence they managed to collect during their investigative techniques, they made application for a controlled drug and substance warrant. In this case, it was granted by the courts, hence the execution of the warrant last night.
Police officials add the arrests are not connected to the ones that took place last month on Jubilee Avenue East. Time for your first check on weather. For more details, we go to CTV's Rick Wyman. And Rick, what is with all these flurries? I think I can safely speak for some of my fellow seniors in saying we've had enough.
Persistent squalls and flurries for some people. And again, we'll get into some heavy-duty numbers, in particular for North Bay tomorrow and Sault Ste. Marie as well. We're taking a look at watches right now throughout Northeastern Ontario, so check this out. The weather alerts as issued by Environment Canada. And of course, your first take on weather brought to you by CAA. Get your membership today. We'll take a look at some of the flurries and the squall numbers coming up in just a couple of minutes. And again, some significant snowfall set for North Bay and area tomorrow and tomorrow evening. Ian?
That's a wise and a big warning for us there, Rick. Thanks so much. He's just going to let me get away with that senior's comment. Well, the chiefs of Ontario are calling out the federal government for what it says is years of unacceptable delays. Chiefs from all over Ontario, including the North, were on Parliament Hill yesterday. They want the 2021 First Nations Class Action Settlement implemented. At the center of this settlement is water. According to the Chiefs of Ontario, a third of First Nations still face drinking water advisories.
At this moment, 58 nations in Ontario are on long or short-term water advisories, and more are likely on the horizon. That's a third of all First Nations in Ontario who cannot drink safe drinking water in their homes.
In the settlement, Canada committed to tabling legislation and providing sustainable funding for safe drinking water for First Nations. The chief says they're wondering, where is that bill and the funding?
Right now, without water legislation, there's no enforcement of regulatory regime for water and wastewater in First Nations. There's no legal recognition of our First Nations governance over water.
According to their figures, causes for poor drinking water include faulty infrastructure, deteriorating water sources and aquifers to water contaminated with bacteria and uranium.
This silence is unacceptable. It is gravely concerning that the Government of Canada feels it can operate in this way while our people struggle every single day with the consequences of underfunding and inaction.
Moore Frappier says water infrastructure is failing because successive governments have not made the investments to maintain safe and reliable water systems in First Nation communities. The group says it's been told by Indigenous Services Canada Ontario region that there is no more funding for First Nations water infrastructure.
This is unacceptable. It undermines reconciliation. It undermines the Crown's fiduciary responsibilities, and it undermines the dignity and the rights of our people.
Water is a basic human right. This government must act immediately. We cannot afford to wait any longer.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has promised clean water legislation to come in the spring, but the chiefs say this is a promise they've heard before. Their message to him, will you be the PM that moves beyond promises and gestures? And CTV News reached out to the Minister of Indigenous Services, Mandy Galmasti, who says clean, safe drinking water in First Nations is a top priority for her and the government. In a statement, she writes in part, our government is committed to ending the remaining 38 advisories, and we have allocated an additional $2.3 billion for that purpose in Budget 2025. I'm honored to continue advancing this important work together. The chair of the District of Nipissing Social Services Board in North Bay is working to come up with a permanent Windsor solution should there be an overflow of homeless people needing a warm place at the low barrier shelter. The plan was to build 2 trailers beside the shelter space, but building permit snags have halted the process. CTV's Eric Tashner with more.
Since the end of spring, Social Services Board Chair Mark King has been pushing to get 2 trailers built at the low barrier shelter to use if there ever was an overflow of homeless people needing a warm place. But this plan has hit a snag in the building permitting process.
It's become so onerous to get building permits because of the red tape that's involved.
The trailer idea was seen as a cost-saving measure instead of having to resort to a more expensive method, hotel rooms.
It's all about the budget of DSAB. Trying to save money to avoid that circumstance.
King says that it came to light the permit application was missing information.
I don't really know. It actually, like we have a subcontractor that's doing the work.
While he stresses that it isn't a city staff issue, King says there is an overarching challenge getting building permits approved.
I spent the majority of the morning on the phone talking to all kinds of different people that are speaking about the difficulty to get building permits. So in my mind, there's something not working.
At this point, the Social Services Board has been able to handle the capacity at the low barrier shelter and its neighboring Northern Pines Transitional Housing Complex.
We're into the winter months. Ground is frozen. It makes it impractical to actually start construction. So this whole project will get pushed ahead into the new year.
King says he plans to bring up the issue to Ontario's housing minister at the AMO conference in January. In the meantime, he says the hotel room option will be available as a last resort. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Time for a quick break. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Rick has your full weather forecast. Also ahead, a reminder to parents and guardians from Public Health. It's time to update your children's vaccine records.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Well, as I was telling Ian Campbell just moments ago, if the cold doesn't get you, the flurries will eventually. Let's check out our numbers right now with our forecast in the 5-day segment right now in terms of our 5-day weather. Here we go. Forecast radar sifting through the Northeast, and with it a copious amount, if I can use that expression, amount of flurries for tomorrow, not only North Bay, but Sault Ste. Marie and several other areas as well. Now let's take a look at some of the numbers as you are about to see. Flurries in Greater Sudbury, again some flurry activity on Saturday. Chance of flurries on, Sunday and Monday, and some snow, periods of snow come Tuesday of next week. Here's where it gets interesting. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, flurries for tomorrow. 10 centimeters during the day and perhaps 5, maybe 8 tomorrow evening. Flurries again on Saturday. Sunday, chance of flurries on Monday. Periods of snow for next Tuesday as well. You want to have some fun? Timmins won't be getting as much snow tomorrow, but only 2 to 4 centimeters of flurry activity. Flurries on Saturday, some sunny skies on Sunday and Monday as well. Nice temperatures and chance of snow, not periods of snow. 40% chance of snow come next Tuesday. How about Timiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake? 5 to 10 centimeters for tomorrow during the day. Few more tomorrow evening. Some flurry activity on Saturday. Chance of flurries on Sunday. Monday, sunny, -12 your expected high. And again, snow on Tuesday, periods of snow with a high of -6. So anytime you get the snow, or at least the periods of snow, a warmer trend in the forecast. Interesting numbers here. 15 to 25 centimeters for Eric Tashner in North Bay. Tomorrow, 10 to 15 tomorrow evening. He won't like that. Saturday, some flurry activity. Sunday, we've got the chance of flurries. Monday, chance of flurries and more snow, periods of snow again on Tuesday with -4. So again, Sault Ste. Marie and especially North Bay will be hard hit with the flurry activity, that squall activity coming off the water as well. The temperatures not as severe as they were for today. But then again, Ian Campbell, some people like the cold. Some people don't mind the cold. Others prefer flurries or squalls. So again, Ian, take your pick, will you? Let's get into something real interesting. Recent winners of the big lottery at HSN in Sudbury. Well, November was a very successful month for the Turcottes. Jen and Derek, of course, they won the HSN 50-50 draw. And of course, over $468,000. Jen, you were somewhat reluctant to pick up the phone to get the good news. What happened?
I was out with my mom. We were doing a bunch of appointments. And at one point, I had seen a call. And I made a comment of how I don't know them. So I did hang up on that one. And then when I got home at about 11:30, I seen 4 or 5 missed calls and one from HSN. So I called my cousin and asked her, did you call me? And she said no. And then that's the one who said, oh my God, today's the day, call.
Christmas just got a lot brighter for you in December for you and your brother. What do you intend to do with all this cash?
I bought a ring.
Very nice.
And I had a couple other thoughts.
And you're going on a trip.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Very, very nice. Why is it important to buy tickets and support the HSN 50-50 draw?
We did mention that we did want to give the Cancer Foundation Sudbury's a donation.
Jen and Derek, congratulations once again. I know you're going to have a great Christmas. Remember, you can't win without a ticket. They won in November. Perhaps you could win in December. Get your tickets today.
Thanks so much, Rick. Well, approximately 3,800 students in the Sudbury and Manitoulin districts have missing or overdue vaccines. That's according to the provincial immunization database. Public Health Sudbury and districts is reminding parents and guardians to update their child's vaccine records. Starting in December, Public Health will begin reviewing records and notifying families if their child is missing vaccines. Under law, the medical officer of health can issue suspension orders to students who don't meet immunization requirements. Students could be suspended up to 20 school days or longer if required. Coming up on CTV News at 5, a new state-of-the-art tool is helping students at Health Sciences North. And paramedics up in Timmins once again give back this year with some banner results. The hospital in Sudbury has a new lifelike mannequin in its simulation lab, helping medical learners prepare for a specific surgery. The project is a collaboration with Cambrian College. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
And that's the injury that we've asked our learners to identify and stop.
This surgeon stabilizes a cardiac arrest brought on following a stab wound to the chest. It's a procedure known as a thoracotomy. The patient may be a mannequin, but the anatomy is realistic.
We're actually able to get a beating heart inside the chest that learners need to repair in this particular circumstance, and they actually have fluid coming out of that heart.
The heart and rib cage were designed and built by engineering, computer programming, and graphic arts students from Cambrian College. Learners at Health Sciences North have been training on this one-of-a-kind simulation model this week.
Also, it's cutting through the skin, intercostal muscle layers, spreading the ribs apart, cutting through the pleural liner, and then accessing that heart and lung space.
The students use 3D printers to make the anatomically correct pieces, using different materials to create realism for the learners.
That popping you hear when you actually are cracking ribs, you get that from a filament style printer that you wouldn't have got with our resin printer. So they had made the changes using the 3D printing equipment they had here, and that gives them a more realistic feel when the learners are going in through the ribs.
Each learner is evaluated by instructors watching in the control room on the other side of a one-way mirror. HSN's chief of staff, a general surgeon himself, says the procedure is rare. Some medical professionals might never perform it, but they still need to know how.
The whole point of this trainer is to not only recreate that scenario of realism, but to also more globally ensure that our learners understand when it's appropriate to use and when it's not appropriate to use.
Although there are other thoracotomy trainers on the market, Wood says none are as realistic as this Cambrian-built one. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Only one game on the docket in Northern Ontario last night. That one was over in Powassan, where it was a very tough night for the French River Rapids. The Rapids fall to the Voodoo 12-2. The Voodoo's Jesse LaFive with a hat trick tonight to earn first star of the game. Tonight, the Sault Michigan Eagles land in the Nickel City to take on the top-rated Sudbury Cubs. Game time is at 7:10 p.m. Over in the OHL tonight, the North Bay Battalion are playing host to the Sarnia Sting. The puck drops there at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night is CTV night at the Sudbury Wolves game, where our staff, including myself, will have these limited edition telethon ornaments, all for a donation to the 77th annual CTV Lions Children's Christmas Telethon. Money raised at the telethon helps purchase toys for as many as 10,000 families in need. We hope to see you there. And congratulations to Renee Roy or Wash. She was the winner of the Pure Country Draw to attend tomorrow night's game. You can tune in Saturday, December 6th, starting at 2 on CTV in Sudbury and Sault Ste. Marie. For the rest of the region, you can watch on Crave or on our website at CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. Paramedics in Timmins participate in a long-standing tradition to help support families by running a Christmas toy drive. The fruits of their labor were on display this week inside the Cochrane District Paramedic Services Ambulance Bay. The 14th annual Fill-In Ambulance Toy Drive took place at Canadian Tire and Walmart last Friday. Officials say these donations will be delivered to the Northeastern Ontario Children's Foundation. They'll be given to families who receive services from the Northeastern Ontario Family and Children's Services through its Community Angel campaign.
We're pretty successful, honestly, every year. This year, just as good. We've collected hundreds of toys, as well as over $4,000 just to go out and buy additional toys that may not have had been filled for certain age groups or age categories.
It's really supporting, parents be able to give those gifts to their kids, and that's why we always ask them to be unwrapped so that parents can go through, see what they're actually being able to offer their kids, and wrap those and put them under their tree.
Since 2020, this event has raised over $26,000 and filled 12 ambulances with gifts. Canada Nickel will be helping haul all those goodies to Neofax this year. Way to go. When we return, we'll take a look at your community close up. You're watching First at 5.
Are you looking to buy your child a toy this Christmas? If you are, be careful if it has the ability to have conversations with you. To discuss this further, let's bring in cybersecurity and tech analyst Ritesh Kotak. Hi there, Ritesh.
Hello.
AI-powered children's toys are here, but are they safe?
So you would think that they're safe because they're children's toys, but research has shown not exactly. So we all remember the cute teddy bears. We'd squeeze it. It says, give a statement like, I love you, or something like that. Well, now with AI, you're actually able to have conversations with these toys. And unfortunately, research has shown that sometimes those conversations can have inappropriate comments, vulgarity. So very important to be cognizant if you're buying toys and you want to be cool and get the latest tech gadgets for your little ones. Just be aware that there are situations where these AI-powered toys are giving some not so holiday-friendly results.
How true. Let's move on. South Korean police say 4 people have been charged in connection with the scheme. They hacked into internet-connected surveillance cameras. What happened here?
Yeah, so this is a cautionary tale and a very disturbing story. Essentially, what happened was we all been aware of these IP cameras, so we can view these feeds on our personal devices when we're not home or at work. Well, if you're using devices that have default credentials and you haven't changed the credentials, or there's any security vulnerabilities, it's really simple for hackers to get into them. And that's exactly what happened here. Hackers were able to get into people's camera feeds, record them in some very sensitive personal moments, and then reach out to them and say, look, we have this clip, or we have you saying this, and if you don't give us money, we are going to release this content on the internet. And it's a very disturbing story. Thank God there's been some arrests that have happened here, but it just goes to show, if you're going to be putting these internet connected devices in your home, make sure that you're keeping them up to date, you're buying from reputable sources as well, and very important, change the default username and password so hackers can't get in.
Good points there. And finally, an Alberta-made app is helping consumers shop for locally made goods. I'm thinking we should be promoting more of these apps.
Absolutely. The Alberta one is promoting over 3,000 products, 900 plus local businesses across Alberta, encouraging individuals to purchase locally made goods. And look, I think this is a great example of technology being used for good here. And I think that we need to see more of this, a Made in Northern Ontario app, a Made in Ontario app, a Made in Canada app, and especially during the holiday season where we support local, and with technology, we're able to be connected to those local businesses within a particular geography and are able to buy our presents from there.
Ritesh, always appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ritesh Kotak was our guest, and to check out more of our Tech Talk segments, head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca.
Time for our community close-up, and for that we begin on the beautiful shores of Porcupine Lake, where our friend Norm Bolduc sent us once again a beautiful shot of the water. And let's face it, it was chilly this morning, but Norm, looks like you must have frozen just to capture this magical shot. Thank you so much for sharing. Gorley Roy sent us these next few pics, and I have to tell you, Gorley, I almost didn't open up the email when I saw the subject line saying winter is more enjoyable, because it was a cold morning, but I did open it up to see the message, and it continued saying winter is more enjoyable when you can share it with friends in Brit. Gorley, your friends are pretty cute, I gotta agree. Thanks so much. Finally, our last picture is someone from our own CTV family. Meet Diva. This little cutie was doing her annual Christmas photo shoot with her Cha-Cha, otherwise known as our incredible director, Lillian. She's 16 years young and looking forward to watching her 16th telethon. Lil said she got her to pose by waving a piece of chicken at her. Diva, you and I have something in common. Very cute. If you have any pictures, videos, or events you'd like us to showcase, you can email them to us at communitycloseup@bellmedia.ca. Finally, a long-standing Christmas tradition in the greater Sudbury community of Lively will continue again this weekend. Santa will be parading around the streets on Saturday. It's a more than 40-year tradition organized by the local volunteer firefighters. Santa and his crew of firefighters will be slowly driving around the community starting at 9 a.m. on Saturday and going until about 2 p.m. Way to go, you guys. There's so many volunteer firefighters in our viewing area, and they always give back so much. Thank you. There's more news for the North coming up at 6. For now, continue watching as we hand things over to CTV National News.